The 25 most famous paintings by Claude Monet. Number 25. The Seine at Vétheuil, 1880. In The Seine at Vétheuil, painted in 1880, Claude Monet represents a view of the Seine River from the village of Vétheuil, where he lived for several years. The painting shows the calm river, reflecting the sky and wooded banks, with small boats adding interest to the composition. Monet uses a soft, luminous palette with blues, greens, and touches of pink to capture the serenity of the landscape. The brushstrokes are fluid and precise, reflecting his attention to detail and his skill in representing the effects of light on the water. This work is significant because it reflects a transitional period in Monet's life, marked by personal difficulties but also by an evolution in his artistic style. The Seine at Vétheuil shows his focus on nature and his ability to find solace and inspiration in his immediate surroundings. The painting is appreciated for its tranquility and the beauty with which Monet captures a fleeting moment in nature, offering the viewer a sense of peace and reflection. Number 24. Regattas at Argenteuil, 1872. Painted in 1872, Regattas at Argenteuil depicts a lively scene of sailing on the Seine River near Monet's home in Argenteuil. The work captures sailboats participating in regattas, with spectators watching from the shore and a bright sky framing the scene. Monet uses vibrant colors and loose brushstrokes to represent the movement of the boats and the sunlit water. The composition is dynamic, conveying the energy and excitement of the sporting event. This painting is significant because it reflects Monet's interest in modern life and the leisure activities of his time. Regattas at Argenteuil is an example of how Impressionists incorporated contemporary themes and captured the atmosphere of specific moments. The work is valued for its liveliness and Monet's skill in conveying a sense of movement and the interplay of light and water. Number 23. The Artist's Son in the Garden at Argenteuil, 1875. In The Artist's Son in the Garden at Argenteuil, painted in 1875, Claude Monet portrays his son, Jean Monet, playing in the garden of their home in Argenteuil. The painting shows the child surrounded by flowers and greenery, capturing a tender and familial moment. Monet uses a bright palette and loose brushstrokes to represent the garden's lushness and the innocence of childhood. Natural light bathes the scene, creating soft shadows and enhancing the vibrant colors of the plants. This work is significant because it provides a personal glimpse into Monet's life and his relationship with his family. The Artist's Son in the Garden at Argenteuil reflects his skill in combining portraiture and landscape, and his interest in capturing everyday moments with spontaneity and emotion. The painting is appreciated for its charm and the way it conveys love and joy in family life, adding a human depth to Monet's body of work. Number 22. The Church at Vétheuil, 1880. Painted in 1880, The Church at Vétheuil depicts the parish church in the village of Vétheuil, where Monet resided during a difficult period in his life. The work shows the church facade illuminated by sunlight, viewed from a slightly low perspective that enhances its presence. Monet uses loose brushstrokes and a warm palette to capture the effects of light on the stone and the Gothic architecture. The contrast between illuminated areas and shadows adds depth and drama to the scene. This painting is significant because it reflects Monet's interest in buildings and how they interact with light and the environment. The Church at Vétheuil foreshadows his later series of Rouen Cathedral, where he would explore this theme further. The work is valued for its sensitive interpretation of a local monument and the way Monet transforms an everyday structure into an artistic exploration of light and form. Number 21. The House Among the Roses, 1925. In The House Among the Roses, painted in 1925, Claude Monet depicts his home in Giverny surrounded by a lush rose garden. The work shows the facade of the house barely visible amid abundant flowers and foliage, creating a sense of complete integration with nature. Monet uses broad brushstrokes and a vibrant palette to capture the richness of colors and textures in the roses in full bloom. The composition lacks precise architectural details, focusing instead on the atmosphere and general impression of the garden. This painting is significant because it represents the culmination of Monet's relationship with his garden, which had become his primary inspiration and living work of art. The House Among the Roses reflects his evolution toward a freer and more abstract style in his later years. The work is appreciated for its beauty and the emotion it conveys, offering a view of the world as Monet perceived it in the twilight of his life. Number 20. The Red Boats at Argenteuil, 1875. Painted in 1875, The Red Boats at Argenteuil depicts a scene along the Seine with several sailboats featuring red hulls docked near the shore. The painting captures a calm day, with the water reflecting the boats and the partially cloudy sky. Monet uses bright and contrasting colors, especially the red of the boats against the blue and green tones of the water and surrounding environment. His brushstrokes are loose yet precise, detailing the boats and the effects of light on the river's surface. This work is significant as it exemplifies the Impressionist approach in capturing specific moments and the transitory effects of light and color. The Red Boats at Argenteuil reflects Monet's interest in modern life and nautical scenes, common in Argenteuil during that period. The painting is appreciated for its vibrant color and the way it conveys the serenity and beauty of life along the river. It is an outstanding example of how Monet and the Impressionists transformed ordinary scenes into profound explorations of visual perception. Number 19. The Cliff at Étretat, 1885. In The Cliff at Étretat, painted in 1885, Claude Monet captures the majestic limestone formation known as the Needle on the coast of Normandy, France. The work depicts the cliffs rising abruptly from the sea, with the natural arch and isolated needle standing out against the sky and water. Monet uses a palette of soft, natural colors, with blues, grays, and ochres, to reflect the atmospheric conditions and changing light. His brushstrokes are quick and expressive, capturing the movement of the waves and the texture of the rock. The composition balances the massive cliff with the open space of the sea and sky, creating a sense of grandeur and harmony. This painting is significant because it demonstrates Monet's interest in seascapes and his skill in representing the transitory effects of light and weather. The Cliff at Étretat is part of a series of works he created at this location, exploring different perspectives and environmental conditions. The work is appreciated for its ability to convey the beauty and strength of nature. Monet captures the essence of the place, inviting the viewer to contemplate the interplay between land, sea, and sky. Number 18. The Gare d'Argenteuil, 1872. Painted in 1872, the Gare d'Argenteuil shows the train station of Argenteuil, a town on the outskirts of Paris where Monet lived for several years. The work depicts a steam locomotive arriving or departing from the station, with human figures and railway structures in the surroundings. Monet uses luminous colors and loose brushstrokes to capture the vibrant atmosphere of modern life. The locomotive's smoke blends with the sky, and sunlight creates contrasts and reflections on the metal surfaces and buildings. The composition incorporates diagonal lines that add dynamism to the scene. This painting is significant because it reflects Monet and the Impressionists' interest in themes of industrialization and modernity. The Gare d'Argenteuil illustrates how the Industrial Revolution transformed the landscape and everyday life, and how art could represent these changes. The work is valued for its innovative portrayal of a contemporary subject and Monet's ability to combine Impressionist technique with urban and industrial scenes. Number 17. Under the Palms, 1884. In Under the Palms, painted in 1884, Claude Monet captures a tropical scene during his visit to the French Riviera. The painting shows tall, lush palm trees under a bright blue sky, with sunlight illuminating the leaves and creating contrasting shadows. Monet uses a vibrant palette and loose brushstrokes to capture the intensity of Mediterranean light and the area's warm atmosphere. The composition focuses on the shapes and textures of the palm trees, representing the exotic vegetation that contrasted with the Norman landscapes Monet was accustomed to. This work is significant because it demonstrates Monet's exploration of new environments and his adaptation to different light and color conditions. Under the Palms reflects his ability to find inspiration in diverse landscapes and his interest in nature's variety. The painting is appreciated for its vitality and the way it conveys the sensation of being immersed in a tropical setting, offering the viewer a fresh and different experience within Monet's repertoire. Number 16. The Windmill at Giverny, 1886. Painted in 1886, The Windmill at Giverny depicts a windmill near Monet's residence in Giverny. The work shows the windmill amidst fields and vegetation under a clear or slightly cloudy sky. Monet uses soft, natural colors, with loose brushstrokes capturing the texture of the plants and the structure of the windmill. Sunlight illuminates the scene, creating shadows and highlighting the architectural and natural elements. This painting is significant because it reflects Monet's interest in rural and traditional elements of the French landscape. The Windmill at Giverny shows his connection to the local environment and his ability to find beauty in countryside scenes. The work is valued for its simplicity and the tranquility it conveys. It exemplifies how Monet could transform an everyday scene into a work of art that invites contemplation and appreciation of nature. Number 15. The Garden at Sainte-Adresse, 1867. In The Garden at Sainte-Adresse, painted in 1867, Claude Monet depicts an elegant scene of leisure in a seaside garden at Sainte-Adresse, a resort in Normandy. The painting shows several figures enjoying the setting, with flags waving and boats sailing on the horizon. Monet uses bright, contrasting colors with a carefully balanced composition. The flowers in the foreground, the figures, and the sea are arranged to guide the viewer's gaze through the scene. Sunlight highlights the colors and creates a cheerful, sophisticated atmosphere. This work is significant because it reflects Monet's interest in modern life and the social interactions of the time. The Garden at Sainte-Adresse combines elements of landscape, portraiture, and genre painting, showing influences from Japanese art in its flat composition and use of space. The painting is appreciated for its aesthetic beauty and the way it captures a specific moment in time, offering insight into 19th century society and customs. Number 14. Waterloo Bridge, London Series, circa 1899 to 1904. Painted between 1899 and 1904, the Waterloo Bridge series is part of the works that Claude Monet created during his visits to London. These paintings show the bridge at different times of day and under various weather conditions, focusing on the effects of fog and light over the River Thames. Monet uses a palette of diffuse colors, with shades of gray, blue, and violet, to capture London's misty atmosphere. The shapes of the bridge and buildings become almost abstract, blurred by fog and industrial smoke. The brushstrokes are soft and merge elements, creating a sense of constant movement and change. This series is significant because it represents the culmination of Monet's exploration of light and atmosphere in visual perception. Waterloo Bridge reflects his interest in how environmental conditions transform the appearance of objects, and his technique influenced modern art development. The paintings are valued for their depth and innovation in urban atmosphere representation. They invite the viewer to appreciate light and color subtleties in an industrial setting. Number 13. The Beach at Trouville, 1870. In The Beach at Trouville, painted in 1870, Claude Monet captures a summer scene on the beach at Trouville, a popular seaside resort in Normandy. The work shows people strolling along the shore, with parasols and elegant clothing, while the wind blows and waves lap against the beach. Monet uses light colors and loose brushstrokes to depict the bright light and movement of the sea and breeze. The details of the figures and accessories hint at the fashion and customs of the time, adding a social context to the scene. This painting is significant because it combines the seascape with a representation of modern life, reflecting Monet's interest in both subjects. The Beach at Trouville demonstrates his ability to capture fleeting moments and the unique atmosphere of the coast. The work is appreciated for its freshness and the way it conveys the joy and energy of a summer day at the beach, offering a window into 19th century society. Number 12. The Beach at Pourville, 1882. Painted in 1882, The Beach at Pourville is one of the works Claude Monet created during his stay in the small coastal town of Pourville in Normandy. The painting shows cliffs and beach under varying light and tide conditions. Monet uses a palette of blues, greens, and ochres to depict the sea, land, and sky. The brushstrokes are energetic, capturing the movement of waves and the texture of rocks and sand. The composition may include small figures or boats, adding scale and life to the scene. This work is significant because it reflects Monet's commitment to plein air painting and his interest in capturing the constant changes in nature. The Beach at Pourville exemplifies his skill in conveying atmosphere and the specific conditions of a place and time. The painting is valued for its beauty and the way it transports viewers into the scene, allowing them to experience the sea breeze and shifting light. Number 11. The Magpie, circa 1868 to 1869. In The Magpie, painted between 1868 and 1869, Claude Monet portrays a snowy landscape with a simple wooden fence and a magpie perched on it. The scene is quiet, showing the effects of sunlight on freshly fallen snow. Monet uses a limited palette of whites, grays, and touches of yellow and blue to capture the shadows and color nuances in the snow. His brushstrokes are soft and precise, representing the texture and stillness of the winter landscape. This painting is significant as it is one of the first examples of Monet's interest in the effects of natural light and his approach to colored shadows, an innovative concept at the time. The Magpie demonstrates his skill in finding beauty and complexity in seemingly simple scenes. The work is appreciated for its serenity and the mastery with which Monet captures light and atmosphere. It is considered one of his best winter paintings and a precursor to the Impressionist style. Number 10. Charing Cross Bridge, circa 1899 to 1904. Painted between 1899 and 1904, Charing Cross Bridge is another series of works Claude Monet created during his stays in London. Like the Waterloo Bridge series, Monet explores how fog, light, and smoke transform the appearance of the bridge and its surroundings. Monet uses soft tones and blurred brushstrokes to depict the bridge and nearby buildings emerging from the fog over the River Thames. Sunlight filtering through the mist creates constantly changing luminous effects that Monet captures with great sensitivity. This series is significant as it deepens Monet's exploration of urban atmosphere and optical effects. Charing Cross Bridge reflects his interest in perception and how environmental conditions alter visual experience. The paintings are valued for their ethereal atmosphere and innovative technique. Monet creates images that are both representative and almost abstract, influencing later artists and enriching the legacy of Impressionism. Number 9. The Houses of Parliament. London series, circa 1899 to 1901. Between 1899 and 1901, Claude Monet painted a series titled The Houses of Parliament, capturing the Palace of Westminster as seen from the River Thames under different light and weather conditions. These paintings focus on the effects of fog, sun, and atmosphere on the Gothic architecture. Monet uses a palette ranging from somber grays and blues to warm oranges and purples, depending on the time of day and climate. The shapes of the Parliament buildings become almost silhouettes, blurred by fog and smog, while light plays a crucial role in creating reflections and shadows in the water. This series is significant because it continues Monet's exploration of how light and atmosphere transform the perception of a single subject. The Houses of Parliament reflects his interest in capturing the intangible and ephemeral, challenging traditional conventions of architectural representation. The paintings are valued for their evocative atmosphere and innovation in Impressionist technique. Monet conveys the essence of London with its changing climate and urban landscape, offering viewers a unique sensory experience. Number 8. Woman with a Parasol. Madame Monet and Her Son, 1875. In Woman with a Parasol, Madame Monet and Her Son, painted in 1875, Claude Monet depicts his wife Camille and their son Jean during an outdoor stroll. The work shows Camille standing on a hill with a parasol, looking at the viewer, while Jean is lower down in the field. Monet uses bright colors and intense light to capture the sunny and windy atmosphere of the day. His brushstrokes are loose and expressive, especially in the grass and clouds, which appear to move with the breeze. The diagonal composition and low viewpoint create a sense of movement and spontaneity. This painting is significant as it exemplifies Monet's Impressionist style at its peak, focusing on natural light and everyday moments. Woman with a Parasol reflects his skill in combining portraiture and landscape, capturing the essence of both person and environment in a single image. The work is appreciated for its elegance and the warmth it conveys of family life. It remains one of Monet's most iconic images and represents his contribution to the development of Impressionism. Number 7. The Gare Saint-Lazare, 1877. Painted in 1877, the Gare Saint-Lazare is part of a series in which Claude Monet depicts the Saint-Lazare train station in Paris. The work shows steam locomotives, platforms, and the glass and iron structure of the station, all enveloped in clouds of steam and smoke. Monet uses a palette of grays, blues, and touches of red and yellow to capture the industrial and dynamic atmosphere of the station. His brushstrokes are energetic, and the steam is represented with blurred areas that add depth and movement. Light filters through the glass roof, creating complex luminous effects. This painting is significant because it reflects Monet's interest in modernity and urban life. The Gare Saint-Lazare shows how Impressionists embraced contemporary themes, exploring new spaces and subjects. The work is also notable for its innovation in the portrayal of light and movement. The painting is valued for its vivid representation of the Industrial Revolution and its impact on society. Monet transforms an everyday scene into a profound artistic exploration, capturing the energy and rhythm of modern life. Number 6. Poppy Field near Argenteuil, 1873. In Poppy Field near Argenteuil, painted in 1873, Claude Monet represents a rural landscape filled with bright red poppies. The work shows two women and two children walking through the field, likely his wife Camille and their son Jean. Monet uses a palette of vivid colors, with intense greens and striking reds, to capture the natural beauty of the landscape. His brushstrokes are loose and fluid, depicting the undulating grass and flowers. The blue sky and white clouds add balance and depth to the composition. This work is significant because it exemplifies the Impressionist focus on natural light and pure colors. Poppy Field near Argenteuil reflects the joy and tranquility of rural life and Monet's connection to his surroundings. The painting is appreciated for its beauty and the peace it conveys. It is one of Monet's most famous works and showcases his ability to capture fleeting moments and the essence of nature. Number 5. Haystacks. Series of Haystacks, circa 1890 to 1891. Between 1890 and 1891, Claude Monet painted a series known as Haystacks, depicting stacks of hay in the fields near his home in Gavarnie. Each painting shows the haystacks at different times of day and seasons, exploring how light and weather affect their appearance. Monet uses a wide range of colors and techniques, from warm, golden tones to cool blues and purples. His brushstrokes vary to represent the texture of the hay and atmospheric effects. The composition often centers on the haystack, turning it into an almost abstract object. This series is significant because it deepens Monet's exploration of perception and temporal change. Haystacks demonstrates his commitment to direct observation and his interest in how external factors transform a single subject. The series had a considerable impact on the development of modern art. The paintings are valued for their innovation and the way they challenge traditional conventions. Monet turns a simple object into a complex study of light, color, and form. Number 4. The Water Lily Pond and the Japanese Bridge, 1899. In The Water Lily Pond and the Japanese Bridge, painted in 1899, Claude Monet presents a view of his famous garden in Gavarnie. The work shows the arched Japanese-style bridge over the pond filled with water lilies, surrounded by lush vegetation. Monet uses rich colors and fluid brushstrokes to capture the serenity and beauty of the garden. Reflections on the water and the interplay of light with leaves and flowers create a tranquil and contemplative atmosphere. The composition balances horizontal and vertical elements, guiding the viewer's gaze across the painting. This painting is significant as it marks the beginning of one of Monet's most iconic series, centered on his water garden. The Water Lily Pond and the Japanese Bridge reflects his fascination with nature and his passion for gardening, turning his surroundings into an endless source of artistic inspiration. The work is appreciated for its harmony and the way it conveys the essence of nature. It is a prime example of Monet's artistic maturity and his contribution to Impressionism. Number 3. The Rouen Cathedral, Series, circa 1892 to 1894. Between 1892 and 1894, Claude Monet painted more than 30 works of the Rouen Cathedral, focusing on the west facade of the building under various lighting and weather conditions. Each painting captures how sunlight transforms the appearance of the Gothic stone architecture. Monet uses a range of palettes, from cool and soft tones to warm and vibrant ones, to represent atmospheric changes. His brushstrokes are dense and textured, reconstructing the cathedral's surface in terms of light and color rather than precise architectural detail. This series is significant as it represents the culmination of Monet's fascination with light and how it affects perception. Rouen Cathedral is a profound study of perception and a challenge to traditional representation conventions. The series influenced later movements, including symbolism and abstract art. The paintings are valued for their innovation and emotional intensity. Monet transforms a well-known monument into a personal, almost spiritual exploration of light and time. Number 2. Water Lilies. Water Lilies series. Circa 1897 to 1926. From approximately 1897 until his death in 1926, Claude Monet devoted much of his time to painting his Water Lilies series, inspired by the pond in his garden at Gavarnie. The series includes around 250 paintings that explore different perspectives, lights, and compositions of the pond and its flowers. Monet uses a vast range of colors and techniques, from delicate brushstrokes to thick applications of paint. Many of the works verge on abstraction, focusing on reflections and water surfaces rather than recognizable elements. The absence of a horizon and traditional perspective creates an immersive and meditative space. This series is significant as it represents the culmination of Monet's career and his major contribution to modern art. Water Lilies explores themes of perception, nature, and sensory experience, anticipating movements like abstract expressionism. The paintings are valued for their beauty and emotional depth. They invite viewers to immerse themselves in contemplation, experiencing nature directly and personally. Number 1. Impression, Sunrise. 1872. Painted in 1872, Impression, Sunrise, is perhaps Claude Monet's most famous work and the one that gave its name to the Impressionist movement. The painting depicts the port of Le Havre at dawn, with ships and cranes faintly visible through the morning mist, and a bright orange sun rising in the sky. Monet uses quick, loose brushstrokes and a limited palette to capture the fleeting impression of the scene. The colors are soft and blurred, except for the sun and its reflection on the water, which stand out vibrantly. The composition is simple yet effective, focusing on light and atmosphere. This work is significant because it challenged the artistic conventions of its time and became a manifesto for Impressionism. Impression, Sunrise, emphasizes subjective perception and direct experience, prioritizing visual sensation over exact detail. The painting is cherished for its innovation and historical impact. It represents a turning point in modern art, symbolizing artistic freedom and the exploration of new ways to see the world. Thank you for watching our video. Subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. Give it a like, comment your thoughts, and share this video with your friends and family.